Toronto police officers who die from job-related mental illnesses in the line of duty will be able to have their names now added to the police memorial wall. Avery has been looking into this and tells us what she has learned. Good morning, Avery.
Good morning, Kevin. Well, Toronto police have agreed to a legal settlement with the Ontario Human Rights Commission. And what this means is that officers who die by job-related suicide will have just as much right to have their names on that wall as those who die from physical injuries. Now, this comes after years of controversy and one family's perseverance. March 14, 1980, one of the darkest nights in Toronto police history. Constable Michael Sweet was shot, held hostage inside a Queen Street restaurant during a botched robbery. His partner, Sergeant Eddie Adamson, was ordered not to storm the building to rescue him. By the time it was all over, Constable Sweet was dead.
Sergeant Adamson there and his men felt they couldn't wait any longer. They knew the officer was in there. They knew he was shot.
Sergeant Adamson was never the same again, and 25 years later, surrounded by articles about the tragedy in a motel room, Sergeant Adamson shot himself. This is what his widow told me in a CityNews interview a number of years ago.
Ed died that night. The Monroe brothers, they didn't kill just one officer, they killed two. My husband just took 25 years to die.
Adamson's family has been fighting for years to have Ed's name put on the memorial wall, saying he died in the line of duty. His injuries just took longer to end his life. Having those who die by suicide on the memorial wall has been met with resistance from both the police brass and the union, but no longer. After rare intervention from the Ontario Human Rights Commission, CityNews has learned that police have been given until October 31st to end what it calls the discriminatory practice of not naming officers who die from mental health injuries. It is a direct result of the claim filed by the family of Eddie Adamson, a story we've been following for years. In one interview, his daughter, who's also a police officer, put it to me this way.
It says heroes in life, not death. What my dad did was a heroic action. He just continued to die over the next 25 years. And I believe that because of that, he deserves to be on that wall. He deserves to be among those officers because he did give his life for that job. He gave his heart, his soul, his whole being for that job, and he deserves to be there.
Now, this is going to be officially announced later today, but the chief of the Human Rights Commission says that officers who lose their lives in the line of duty must be treated with the same level of respect and recognition as those who die by bullet, for example.
They give their lives in the line of duty, and that's so important for us to remember.
I think this family of Eddie Adamson has been, fighting for this for years, and it was because of their claim that this has now come through. This recognition that you can die by bullet as a police officer, but you can also die by the things that you see on the job, that it just takes longer. There are a lot of details to be worked out. This is a fairly lengthy arbitration ruling that we will be getting more information on and have on CityNews at 5 and 6. But it doesn't mean that automatically every officer who dies by suicide is going to have their name popped up on the wall. It just means that they will be given the same degree of recognition as others.
PTSD has had a bad name, especially among those who are negotiating collective agreements for many, many years. And it doesn't just stop at police. Paramedics have been fighting for it for years. Firefighters who go into horrific scenes. Even our Canadian forces, I've heard even those who work at the coroner's office. So this is far-reaching, and I think a lot of other organizations are going to be watching this.
And the interesting thing, too, is the WSIB, Workers' Compensation, has now recognized that PTSD is a workplace injury for police officers, paramedics, etc. So they do now get coverage for that. So baby steps, but this is a big one.
So we'll have more coming up on City News at 5 and 6 with you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for bringing this to us, Avery. Appreciate it.